All right, Shalom. I want to give all the praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai Bahasham Rakah Kwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who taught me this truth. Double salutations to our Yuakim out there laboring, the house of David, the elect, that's pushing this word with all truth, righteousness, and sincerity. Shalom to you, brothers, and shalom to the elect. I'm back with another quick lesson through the Holy Spirit, the Rakah Kwadash, and I want to jump right into this article here. This is from inews.co.uk, and the headline it reads, it says, U.S. Secret Service can't guarantee Trump and Harris safety from more gunmen, sources warn. All right, and as we see, they're putting a lot of effort into potentially sabotaging this election, and that's why the scriptures say, we're not ignorant of Satan's devices. All right, we see the setup, and this is exactly what they were speaking about a month before. I had brought this out from the WLT report. It says breaking Secret Service whistleblowers warns of second plot to kill, Trump. Now, this happened. There was another there was another scenario, or I should say a second attempt, for his life. So whatever they plan to do, whatever they're brewing up, is going to affect this election in some way. All right, whatever they got, set up. So I wanted to play this video again just to show you that, it's been in the news. All right, let's play this again and go through it, and then I'll grab a couple scriptures, and we'll wrap it up. But let's listen to this again.
A Secret Service counter sniper is predicting another assassination attempt before November. In an email obtained by Real Clear Politics, a Secret Service agent with 20 years experience on the counter sniper team is announcing he's going to blow the whistle until all of his supervisors are fired. The counter sniper says his mission is to prevent another JFK-style assassination. And the only reason that hasn't happened is because they've gotten lucky. He says Secret Service leadership is corrupt and states clearly, quote, "We all should expect another assassination attempt to happen before November. We've exposed our inability to protect our leaders due to our leadership." After this email went public, it was wiped off the Secret Service servers. There's a massive cover-up underway, and it's spilled over into Congress. After Cheadle resigned in disgrace, her number 2 got promoted and testified today that the Secret Service screwed up, but the local police, it was really all their fault.
30 seconds, if it's communicated directly to a counter sniper team, would that be enough time to react prior to the firing of those shots?
Senator, if we'd had that information, they would have been able to address it more quickly. It appears that that information was stuck or siloed in that state and local channel.
Were explicit instructions provided to cover the roof of the AGR building and locals just not follow it, or were those explicit instructions not provided?
It's my understanding what was communicated is that the locals had a plan and that they had been there before. We are looking at this, and they should have been on that roof, and the fact that they were in the building is something that I'm still trying to understand.
The Secret Service set the perimeter, established communications, didn't fly a drone, didn't put a counter sniper on the roof, and never even showed up to brief the locals. The local SWAT commander said Secret Service never told them to man that roof.
The accusation that somehow we were told that to be on the roof line, for instance, and that it was too hot. That's ridiculous. Our snipers are prepared to operate in Western Pennsylvania from anywhere from 10 degrees below zero to 90 degrees. They were prepared to be wherever they were told by Secret Service that day.
Why did the Secret Service not want that roof covered? Why? We learned today that the Secret Service was offered a drone, but turned it down. And they never even caught Crooks's drone because they had problems with their internet.
You had a drone system, but you had bandwidth problems. The bandwidth apparently was adequate for the shoot.
Come on, man. All of this shit is just tacky. Just more distractions. Because either way, as we were reading here in this headline, if something happens to either or, it's going to bring America down to its knees. And this is what they need. They need more chaos. They need more chaos and confusion.
Shooter's drone, but not for the Secret Service. Can you explain that?
I have no explanation for it, sir. People fly drones all the time on the peripheries of our sites. And we go out and we talk to them and we ascertain what their intentions are. On this day in particular, because of the connectivity challenge, as you noted, there was a delay, and he flew his drone at 3:51 approximately.
You can buy a local hotspot from T-Mobile for $20. And not only that, the Biden-Harris administration spent $40 billion to wire rural America with internet. And the Secret Service doesn't have Wi-Fi in Pennsylvania? Remember, after the shooting, the FBI said they couldn't find a motive, and Crooks was a registered Republican? Well, the CEO of Gab, a social media site, has just come forward with data showing Crooks had an account where he aggressively defended Joe Biden and his border policies and his COVID lockdowns. Does he sound like a Republican? After this revelation, the FBI came out today and said Crooks wrote right-wing things online.
Some of these comments, if ultimately attributable to the shooter, appear to reflect anti-Semitic and anti-immigration themes, to espouse political violence, and are described as extreme in nature. While the investigative team is still working to verify this account to determine if it did in fact belong to the shooter, we believe it important to share and note it today, particularly given the general absence of other information to date from social media and other sources of information that reflect on the shooter's potential motive and mindset.
Why is the FBI acting so sketchy and dishonest about Crooks' political ideology? We don't care if he's a right-winger or a left-winger. He tried to kill Trump. Why is the FBI working so hard to muddy up his philosophy? He's a Democrat donor, then he's a Republican, then he's pro-Joe Biden open borders, then he's anti-immigrant. Why are the feds treating a dead assassin so cryptically? And why can't they crack into all of his accounts? We can hack the Iranian nuclear program, but not a 20-year-old's blog?
Yeah, because it's all set up. This is what we're trying to warn you. Excuse me. This is what we're trying to warn you in the spirit, man. All right? We see the setup from a mile away. All right? We're not ignorant of Satan's devices.
I'm not buying it. And why don't we know the name of the Secret Service site supervisor in Butler? The man who made all these wrong calls all at once, all on the same day?
Who was the lead site agent who made the decision to leave the AGR building completely outside of the security perimeter? Who was that?
Senator, I cannot give you that name. This person is operational. They're still doing investigations. They're still doing protective visits.
Have they been relieved of duty?
Senator, they have not been relieved of duty.
I know their name, by the way. Why have they not been relieved of duty?
They are still cooperating, not only being interviewed by the FBI, but also by our Office of Professional Responsibility.
Why hasn't the Secret Service site supervisor for the Butler rally been suspended? Why is he still in charge of protecting politicians? Why isn't he under investigation? They're keeping him around to help do the investigation? Are they going to keep him around for Trump's next Butler rally? And the senators know the guy's name. Why hasn't the Senate subpoenaed the Secret Service site supervisor for Butler? That's the guy who they should drag in to testify under oath about what happened, not these squirrely bureaucrats. Why is everybody protecting this guy? Who is this guy? The politicians won't even tell us what the guy's name is. Something stinks.
Yeah, because, he's probably been, he's probably most likely set up, by the elites, to do whatever it is that he had to do, so they can't give any names, Like we said, everybody sees through this shit. That's why we said you even had the election debates or whatever they had, the presidential debates, all of that shit was trash. Nobody believes anything, right? This is why they have to do something dramatic okay, to get the people's attention. You know, something has to happen to one of these two to really, you know, speed up the process, so to speak. You know, to really bring forth martial law to lock this thing down. You know?
And you know what I'm talking about.
There you go, man. So there's all types of internal division within Esau's government. All right, he's divided. Scriptures say that if Satan be divided against himself, his kingdom cannot stand. So this is what we see. All right, but just wanted to put this out there, man. So once again, U.S. Secret Service can't guarantee Trump and Harris safety from more gunmen, sources warn. And this is what this is what's been hitting the news, you know, that these things would bring forth the potential of civil war, all right, in some form or fashion. All right, it says Biden calls for the U.S. Secret Service to be given more help after second attempt on Trump's life on Sunday. This is madness. All right, this is supposed to be the top of the line, you know, protection, right? And it's being infiltrated. And this is his second attempt. This is how we know that, you know, the scenario as it showed you that, hey, something is bound to happen, you know? I'm just going to read a little bit here. It says, the U.S. Secret Service cannot guarantee it can prevent further shootings, you see? Such as the two apparent assassination attempts involving Donald Trump, U.S. and British intelligence sources have told I. Law enforcement sources on both sides of the Atlantic warned that aggressive social media rhetoric and the ease of buying firearms has created a threat for both presidential campaigns too large for the U.S. agency to deal with alone. See? On Sunday, Mr. Trump faced his second assassination attempt in 2 months, as would-be shooter positioned himself in the bushes on the perimeter of his Florida golf club. A Secret Service agent monitoring one hole ahead of Mr. Trump spotted the barrel of a gun pointing out of a foliage, prompting him to open fire. All right, so look, they've been telling you that it was going to happen. You know, attempt number 2. It says, reading on here, it says one suspect was later arrested 40 miles from the scene, and an official assassination investigation has been launched by the Federal Bureau of Investigations, FBI. A U.S. intelligence source told I that a social media rhetoric that, quote, encourages violence with no end in sight has seen a rise in individuals spurred on to launch attacks against political figures they disagree with, man. So, and that's the narrative too, right? The social media rhetoric, what people are saying on the internet. This is why they're coming after those who speak against the narrative that they're pushing. This is why there's an attack on free speech. You know, this whole misinformation, disinformation campaign that's being pushed, right? That's why soon to come, you know, there's definitely going to be a famine of the word. It says, quote, the rise of individual actors who are not affiliated with any specific traditional ideology or organization continues to be the threat pattern. They said, quote, these folks have relatively easy access to weapons and technology they can use in an attack. You see? Now read this last paragraph here. It says, they warned about the rise in aggression fueled by social media and said the U.S. Secret Service is not resourced to track every crazy narrative on the internet. See? You know, U.S. Secret Service is not resourced to track every crazy narrative on the internet, requiring them to lean on other U.S. agencies. The source warned, open gaps for radicalized lone actors to slip through the net and to further, quote, copycat attacks on candidates as the election campaign progressed. You see that? So like I said, there's a lot of effort into sabotaging the coming election in November, man. All right, we see it. All right. This is 2 Ezra chapter 15, verse 14. Woe to the world and to them that dwell therein, For the sword and the destruction draweth nigh, as we see. And one people shall stand up and fight against another, swords in their hands. And this is what's going to lead to civil war. If anything happens to Trump or Kamala, guaranteed it's over. All right? It says, for there should be sedition among men and invading one another. They should not regard their kings or princes. And the course of their actions shall stand in their power. Right? So it's going to be every man for himself. That's when lawlessness is going to take over America. All right? A man should desire to go into a city and should not be able, because there's going to be lockdowns. All right? It's going to be martial law. For because their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men should be afraid. And man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. All right? So there you have it. You know? So the potential is there. All right? We're only a couple months away. So we're going to continue to watch. You know, head on the swivel, so to speak, man. You know, the U.S. Secret Service can't guarantee the protection of Trump or Kamala. That's a major problem. You see? So it's getting ready to go down either way. All right? We see the setup. All right? We're not ignorant of Satan's devices. And we're going to continue to watch what happens. So I pray that this quick lesson was informative and also edifying. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakwadash, and Shalom.